What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Dr. Splash. We've been killing it with the uploads. Like I told you guys, I'm changing jobs soon in a good way, and I have more time freeing up, and I'm just really motivated to get as much content to you guys as fast as possible and to motivate you guys to help us grow. I am well known for having hundreds to thousands of characters fully scaled, tens of thousands of comics, manga scans, fictional scans, you name it. So many servers that I sell because I've done so much research over the years, right? I sell access to them. Well, if you guys get me to 100K subs, I will make all of my scaling servers publicly accessible for the Yancey Street Gang. If you're a sub, you can access that shit. So to motivate you guys who want thousands of comics, anime characters, all these characters, fictional characters scaled, you want all their full stuff, show love, all you got to do is subscribe. That's free. And if you want to see your favorite channel character on the channel or in this series, the Invasion series, you can hit me up to talk business. Or if you comment what you like down below and it gets enough love, I'll add it to the series. Either way works for me. Now, on topic, right? Invasion series is where we take a character and we throw them into either Marvel or DC Comics. Now, granted, I might add later on more verses that I have people invade, but for now, we're doing Marvel versus and DC, right, as the landscape. We're sending Vegeta there. Now, if you don't know, I've kind of had a complicated past with Dragon Ball on my channel. Some people think I hate Dragon Ball, I don't like Dragon Ball. Truth is, I have zero issues with Dragon Ball. If I ever had an issue in a series with something, it's usually with fans, right? Which isn't actually the series itself. Vegeta is one of my favorite characters ever. He's up there with Frieza, Boo as some of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball history. Why do I like Vegeta? One, because it's hard to be a Vegeta fan, right? Because we get fucked by the narrative. Never get to get those big wins to put us over the big villains, right? What we would call a jobber. However, a lot of people misconstrue jobbing with being weak or someone not liking the character. To me, Vegeta has always been one of the big dogs in Dragon Ball, right? And what makes him more dangerous than Goku, and if you really look into the relationship, if you know, you know, Vegeta be on his ass, right? Like that win-loss record in between the two would lead you to think Vegeta would have more big, large-scale wins. But in truth, it's always Goku that gets that narrative push, right? It's always someone else besides Vegeta that gets put over, which really sucks as a Vegeta fan. But he's still stupidly capable, and we're going to review. And to let people know, we are using basically a composite Vegeta, right? I'm going to use Xeno. I'm going to use the different games. I'm probably not going to use Fortnite. Just because Marvel's also in that, I just think it gets a little complicated, but I am going to use stuff that gives him better scaling. Because to me, I think comic book fans get a little lazy and they're like, oh, just use mainline Dragon Ball. No, we're not soft, right? We're giving Vegeta all the sauce. If the comic books can have thousands of comics, Vegeta can get more material too, bitches. Okay, let's not run from the smoke. So what's that mean for Vegeta? Well, in order to review like a composite sense of the Dragon Ball cosmology, to keep things short, while people argue about the credibility of Dragon Ball's mainline cosmology being outerversal, they argue it's just multiversal plus with a little bit of higher dimensionality here and there. I think in the composite sense, it's very easy to argue outerversal. The reason I say that is it's confirmed infinite multiverses with every single moment in history infinitely splinting off into different what-ifs. You're probably very familiar with the many worlds theories. Concepts like this would exist in the Dragon Ball cosmology. On top of this, they have fictional transcendent realms like the real world that kind of views things as fiction below or would transcend that. They have realms outside of physics, realms that can alter the story itself and are above physicality, dimensions, all these things. So it's quite easy to argue that a composite Dragon Ball cosmology, even if you aren't a big fan of calling the regular verse outer, definitely can get it to outer. So we do have some outerversal scaling for Vegeta, given he still scales to some of the stronger character in the verse. And yes, Vegeta tiers would be outer with angels and stuff, the characters above them just being stronger, okay? It can work like that. That's how it works in comics. So Vegeta would have outer scaling. On top of this, he's able to combat characters that can blatantly defy physics, time, space, and dimensions with their raw speed alone. Like it's irrelevant to them moving through time with speed. So as you guys know, we can use higher forms of speed scaling for Vegeta as well. Hacks-wise, he brings energy, projection, and a ton of different assortment of energy-based attacks to the table. Can erase people. Essentially, Hawkeye, if you're as strong as someone, you can erase. We're going to give him that too. Fuck it, composite everything, baby. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh, some stuff he doesn't use that often. It doesn't matter, okay? We're sending him into a fucking verse alone. Let Vegeta use what he needs, okay? Final Flash, he has stuff that can blind you. He has stuff that can erase you. He has stuff that can physically just straight up destroy you. Obviously, the Hakai, if you did not know, can also attack on a spiritual level, so he has multi-layered attacks as well. Can teleport, instant transmission, has incredible stamina, and obviously, we have an argument for putting maybe base at Outer Versal, right? And then he goes Super Saiyan and several Super Saiyan forms after that, essentially power stacking to a significant degree. So he can increase his power level. And if you don't outright kill a Saiyan, they have something called a Zenkai, where essentially they get stronger and reactively adjust to the damage they took, becoming stronger after, right? It's a really dope ability that a lot of fictional characters have, which he does as well. On top of all the energy-based attacks and the different hacks he has, he's also resistant to basically anything he's as strong as or stronger than. Essentially, he has hacks resistances scaling to whatever he's going against, as long as he's as strong as it, right? Or stronger. He can outright resist and keep fighting through it, even stuff like transmutation. Outside of this, he's also one of the most skilled martial artists in fictions. He's been training in combat his whole life, training in technical skill as well, and keep up with characters who have mastered dozens to hundreds of techniques and perfected martial arts to a degree. In terms of how we would conventionally view martial arts, characters like Goku, he is able to go toe-to-toe with in skill. So in the martial skill as well, he's one of the most fierce and tested in fiction. So we have someone who's been literally fighting their whole lives, has been subjected to both regular and cosmic battles throughout time, and has a plethora of hacks and experience that he brings to the table, as well as higher speed metas and some outer versal AP. Now, is it high outer to boundless? No, I definitely don't think I really have a case for that with Vegeta, but I definitely think he's formidable at his peak, including the likes of outer versal scaling. So, with all that in mind, how does this invasion go? Well, I think this is very interesting breaking into Marvel, because the situation in Marvel is going to be very unique, right? Vegeta is different from Goku in that Vegeta is much more apt to just put you in the dirt than Goku would, right? Like if you run up on Vegeta, you better be ready to kill. You got to put that boy down. He don't give a fuck, right? He will fight God if he has to. So I think one of the funnier and more interesting interactions that'll happen right away, I imagine him getting thrust into the universe, right? Probably encountering an alien civilization. Let's give him a ship or something. I know you're gonna argue you can't breathe in space, whatever. We'll give him a fucking ship, all right? Counters the Shi'ar Empire lands, has to battle someone like Gladiator, right? Now, Gladiator against normal Vegeta, canon Vegeta, fascinating, right? I think that would be a fascinating battle. Like, I do think it's kind of close. Gladiator definitely has scaling to bop if you don't believe in the Dragon Ball regular verse. But basically, Composite Vegeta absolutely has all the means to put down Gladiator. On top of this, the confidence factor with Gladiator, Vegeta talks so crazy, bro. Vegeta's so fucking disrespectful. Like, going back and forth with Gladiator, he's gonna weaken his confidence. I think he'd put Gladiator in a t-shirt. I think he dirt naps him. I think if Surfer runs up at the wrong time, he might get dirt napped, right? Probably not killed, because Surfer has shown in the clutch against stronger characters than Vegeta, he can survive. And like, if you're pushing him that level, he can probably get out of there, but he's also liable to get knocked out, right? Like, that very well may happen. Now, here's the problem, right? This is ultimately the issue when you go into a verse like that. When you take out a character of that magnitude, of a status of a Gladiator, of a status of a Surfer, you are officially on everybody's map. Like, there's no escaping smoke at that point. Marvel is a very aggressive verse, especially if there's someone out there roaming around putting down Gladiator or Silver Surfer tiers, right? So Vegeta is on everyone's shit list at this point. At the very least, they don't know what he's got going on. They know he's extremely capable, but at the same time, fadeable, right? Because he's probably not going to outright just obliterate Gladiator and Surfer. It's probably going to be a contest of sorts. So he's beatable to a lot of characters' opinions, but incredibly dangerous. So we would see a reaction of the likes of the Nova Corps. We would see the likes of perhaps Thor or Beta Ray Bill going out there. Now, Beta Ray Bill is interesting, right? Because unlike Gladiator, confidence is not a factor. Beta Ray Bill is dumb enough to think he can fight anybody, okay? There is no pussy in Beta Ray Bill. And we found out recently that he isn't actually an Elder God, or a Storm God now, sorry. The Elder Gods see him as a conventional Storm God now. He's been elevated. He's absolutely capable of going toe-to-toe with Vegeta. I think he's more viable to go toe-to-toe with him than the likes of a Gladiator or a Surfer, because Gladiator's confidence can waver, Surfer's kind of a pussy. That factors in. Whereas Beta Ray Bill, all smoke all the time. Basically Vegeta. He's like Vegeta. In terms of character tropes, he's like the Vegeta to Thor, right? Thor's Goku. I would say Thor probably likes to smoke a little more than Goku, but point remains, right? So that would be a slugfest. But then you would have people like the Guardians coming in. And then the Avengers would get involved, right? Like there's going to be communication at this point. Like, hey, Beta's pulling up. Now I said Thor, but we got to see, right? Like it really depends on if Vegeta makes it to Asgard or not. It depends on what Thor is doing at the time. But if Beta pulls up, good scrap. Here's the problem, right? If he manages to put down Beta, if he manages to get away or like take him out, get to Earth, whatever, definitely cooked at that point. Because if you're taking out a Surfer type, a Gladiator, or a Beta, all of those two, yeah, no, it's done for you. Thor's definitely getting involved at that point. Loki might hop in for shits and giggles. Current Storm's gonna get involved. Oh my God, like we don't need beef with Current Storm. She is someone that's stronger than Doom Supreme, who's getting bought by a demon that she beat up. Like, nah, we don't want that smoke. Phoenix, Scarlet Witch. Y'all think I hate Scarlet Witch? I'll be the first to tell you Current Scarlet Witch is a problem. Like, I don't think Vegeta's messing with someone channeling the power of the Never Queen, okay? This is someone who studied the Darkhold. Sorry, that was a hairball, if you heard that. But she's someone that can manhandle him, right? Brother Voodoo, his magic's too strong. Current Hulk, if he's there. Well, no, Infernal Hulk wouldn't be there. If Fractured Sun, God forbid, if Fractured Sun was there, GG. There's a lot of characters who have the scaling and more importantly, the hacks. And more importantly, at that point, the motivation to put down Vegeta. Because if he's putting in work like this, he's got to be handled. He's too much of a threat to Earth. And again, if you put someone down like Beta Ray Bill, Thor's 100% getting involved. Because at that point, not only you took out one of his boys, you're a threat to Asgard and Midgard. So Vegeta, while he would put in work, I think he would beat a few of the notable characters. Like I said, I actually see kind of a clear path to how his battle plays out compared to others. I think he puts in work. I think he beats up a lot of characters. If he were to run into a majority of Marvel characters on Earth, he beats most of them, right? The only ones that really stand a chance have the higher scaling and have better hacks, right? So it would be someone like I said, a Storm, the likes of, if Apocalypse is on Earth, he could get it done. The likes of Thor, Hulk, Scarlet Witch, these characters, Doctor Strange, Voodoo, all of them. I think Strange is probably dead right now. I don't know. Strange stays fucking around. But because I know Scarlet's becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. I don't know what Strange is doing right now. I gotta go check. But regardless, there are characters that could take Vegeta down. I think he makes more noise than people give him credit for, but that's kind of also the story of Vegeta, right? Never really gets the credit he deserves. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. How do you see this playing out? I think eventually Vegeta's bravado, and if he gets a couple good wins early, will be his undoing because they'd take him a lot more serious and move to take him out. But let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section down below. I had a lot of fun making this. Let me know who should invade Marvel or DC next. We got Gore on the way as well. Super excited to do that video. Shout out to Griffo for using his token on that. And if you want to join the Battle Corps where you help determine my video schedule and you even get video tokens to cash in when you want, hit me up to talk business. But anyways, it's been your host, Dr. Splash. Turn the notification bell on because I'm doing multiple uploads a day. And remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.